Is Johnny Gargano an all-time great in WWE? In like 5 years' time, will you consider Johnny Gargano one of the greatest in WWE history? It's an extremely loaded question to ask. But at this point in time, I think it's a very valid question to ask, honestly. Especially now after one Dave Meltzer gave his rating on NXT Takeover New Orleans. If you guys don't know, Dave Meltzer, one of the most prestigious wrestling reporters of all time, you probably have heard his name if you're a wrestling fan. Whether you are hardcore or not, you've heard the name Dave Meltzer before, I'm sure. Dave Meltzer is usually known for rating matches, if not just in WWE, but across all wrestling, mainly mainstream wrestling. New Japan, Ring of Honor, all those companies. And more often than not, New Japan is known for the 5-star ratings. They get 5-star ratings just about every single year. WWE, however, does not really get 5-star ratings that often. Actually, WWE has only gotten 5-star matches in the inception that they've been alive, which is just insane to think about it. Now, of course, Dave Meltzer's rating is subjective. It's his opinion. That doesn't. I need people to understand this. Dave Meltzer, while he's held in this high limelight, he is a great reporter. He's backseat. He has ears everywhere. Okay, I'm not saying that you should never take his word, that you should never listen to him. But you all gotta remember that Dave Meltzer is one human being with one opinion. He is not the end-all be-all when it comes to what is the greatest match of all time. I will take in consideration when he says, "Oh, this is a 5-star match." I'm like, okay, now I gotta watch it. That's how I feel. If Dave Meltzer gets something 5 stars, then I'm like, I gotta watch it. Not, okay, it's obviously 5-star match because he said so. Like, nah, I gotta watch it to see if it's actually a 5-star match. As I've seen in WWE, I've seen all their 5-star matches, and I will agree, every single 5-star match rated by Dave Meltzer in WWE is a 5-star match. We now come to NXT Takeover New Orleans, which just happened last weekend, where Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa in an unsanctioned match is rated a 5-star match. Now, in my NXT Takeover review, which after this revelation, I think I'm going to have to upload it. Me and my cousin Darren had a bit of a 2 cents on the Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa match, where we were considering it one of the greatest feuds in WWE history. If you guys have any interest, I'm probably going to upload that video maybe tomorrow or sometime today or whatever. We considered it one of the greatest feuds in WWE history, just for how it built up and how it blew off, and was one of the greatest matches we've ever seen. And I think that Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa was one of the greatest matches I've probably have seen in a while. I wouldn't say of all time. It was one of the greatest matches I've seen in recent memory. It's one of those slow burn matches. It's not a high pace, top to bottom, balls to the wall action. It's a slow burn that had a lot of callbacks, that had a lot of things that if you watch the entire storyline, you would get it. It had that intensity and that emotion that most matches today can't capture. Not many New Japan matches can capture the emotion that this match had. And I feel like for that reason, it deserved to be a 5-star match. But the question is now, is Johnny Gargano considered an all-time great? Because of 2 things. Number 1, Johnny Gargano is the first WWE wrestler in history to receive 2 5-star ratings in the same year. Okay? Now, when you look at the 5-star ratings, there's only been 6. And neither of the wrestlers that have been featured in these matches have had these in the same exact year. No, there's never been a time in WWE where there's been 2 5-star matches in the same year until 2018. Here's the thing. They were both set by the same man, Johnny Gargano. And do you know that of the 6 matches that have been rated 5 stars in WWE history, only 2 men in that lineup appear in that list twice. Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. Now, Johnny Gargano is being added to that list. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa at NXT New Orleans, and Johnny Gargano versus Andrade Cien Almas at NXT Takeover Philadelphia. Now, I had the honor of being there live for Johnny Gargano versus Andrade Cien Almas at NXT Takeover Philadelphia, and I consider it one of the greatest matches I've ever seen live. If not, no, not one of. I consider that match the greatest match I have ever seen in attendance, and one of my all-time favorite matches. Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano. We had as I said, we considered it one of the most intense matches we've ever seen, and at that end, we considered it one of the greatest feuds in WWE history. So I believe that Johnny Gargano is very deserving to be in that discussion. However, I do not think that Johnny Gargano can be considered an all-time great at this point in time. It is very, very early in Johnny Gargano's WWE career. You guys have to consider Johnny Gargano started off in WWE NXT in 2016. It's only been 2 years. Now, that says a lot about Johnny Gargano if he's only been in developmental for 2 years and he's put on 2 5-star matches, where some wrestlers have been around for WWE for ages, and they haven't put on a single one yet. Now, I'm not going to discount Tommaso Ciampa or Andrade Cien Almas, because obviously that means they're added to the list too. But Johnny Gargano is one of the 3 to be in that list twice. So I believe that Johnny Gargano, in 5 years' time, if Johnny Gargano can put on another 5-star match this year, he will break the record. He will be the first WWE wrestler to have 3 5-star matches. I just think it's insane that he had both of them in the same year. And nonetheless, he had both of them in the span of 4 months. That's even more insane. So I want you guys to sign off down below. What do you guys think about this? Do you think Johnny Gargano will be considered one of the greatest of all time? Or do you think he is the greatest of all time right now? Like I said, I don't think he is right now. It's very, very early to say that he is. I think in 5 years' time, he keeps on putting on awesome matches. You also got to remember, it's very hard to call someone one of the greatest when they're still in developmental. Johnny Gargano is not on Raw or SmackDown right now. So it's very hard to say that. I'm sure once Johnny Gargano goes to the main roster, it's going to be very hard to really judge, because there's restrictions of what he can do. I think Johnny Gargano really could tear it up on the main roster, but we're going to see less 5-star matches from him once he goes up to Raw or SmackDown. I don't even think he might even have any on the main roster. So, if WWE knows it's good for him, keep him on developmental and keeps on having those great-ass matches. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. What do you guys think? I just wanted to start a discussion. Tell me what you guys think down below. I'm going to be reading your comments throughout.